Welcome to Gloria's Gab Live. I am so excited today because I want to introduce all my viewers today to the new executive director of the Junior Orange Bowl Committee. And you know, this is a passion I've had for a long time. Once you get involved in the Junior Orange Bowl, you never get out. So Mimmi, you're in for a ride. So Mimmi, I'm not sure how to say your last name. Is it Balaam?
It's Mimmi Balaam.
Balaam, okay.
But it doesn't look that the way on the spelling, but it's okay. I kind of answer to whatever.
Just Mimmi is good enough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to learn all about how Mimmi ended up here and doing this wonderful festival that's one of the largest youth festivals in the world. Before we start, we have to thank our sponsor, South Florida PBS. If you don't know it, before, they have a Thorough exhibit right now that's an immersive art experience in their headquarters in Boynton Beach, and it is phenomenal. It's worth the trip there. And the great thing is, during the week, they have students come in, and thousands of students, every time they do something, like thousands of students go through. This is their second one. They had the Da Vinci that was phenomenal, but this one's even better. They just keep getting better. And they have a more immersive experience coming up, but this is one of the ways also that they're able to make up for the gap in funding. And they've been very innovative and probably one of the best PBS stations in the nation. Wow. So I'm real proud of them and happy to be on their community advisory board. So let's talk about you. You tell me your journey, because you're from Australia of all places, Melbourne, right?
Correct. So I guess the reason that I ended up here was through sports, I guess, which is so full circle with my job now. I was lucky to grow up in a very active household. It was definitely something that my sister and I did for a lot of our youth and growing up. And we went to a school where I guess a lot of the foundations and the culture was based around sport. So we'd train 3 to 4 times a week in high school and then compete every weekend. And we were lucky that that kind of competition had aspects of travel to it, but also high-level competition. So I guess I picked up running and rowing from a young age, and I kind of pursued that all the way to my 12th year of school at a high level. And then there was a guy a couple years older than me that had just got accepted into GW to row. And he was like, hey, have you considered going to the States to kind of...
GW what?
George Washington.
George Washington.
Sorry.
Okay.
He got, a scholarship to the men's team there. And he was like, have you looked into pursuing that route? And I had never kind of considered myself for that. I mean, I had a lot of great examples in a lot of rowing coaches, and my track coach went to Arkansas and was a 4-time All-American. Like,
oh my goodness.
Really, really amazing. And there were a lot of... It was just kind of taking to in Australia, where a lot of people were saying, hey, this is a really viable route and a really great way to get an education and kind of have that global experience. So I started the process late in 12th grade, and I kind of was speaking to a couple of schools, and because our school year goes from February to December, at the end of my exams in November, I quickly got on a plane and I had 3 official visits. I went to SMU, I went to Alabama, and I went to the University of Miami. I looked around each school for rowing, and I got offered a scholarship. And I guess the decision came down to me, where do I want to be for 4 years? Where's somewhere that's international and diverse, I'm going to get great experience outside of sport, and also that's going to kind of carry me after my college career. As you know, there's not a lot of money in any Olympic sports, let alone rowing. So it was never an option to kind of pursue that professionally. So I'm like, where is going to set me up for a great pathway afterwards and have a really amazing, diverse experience when I'm away? So I was lucky to get a great scholarship to the University of Miami. That is where I spent 4 years on the women's rowing team. Actually 5. I got a 5th from COVID. I did my undergrad and my master's there. In sports administration, which I love. We had 2 different...
Perfect.
Yeah, it was very fitting. And I had 2 different head coaches, which was amazing to experience their different philosophies and kind of transitions through our team. I mean, not a lot of people understand a lot about rowing, but it is a pretty hands-on sport. We have 60 girls on the roster, 10 different nationalities at So that in itself was a really immersive and diverse experience. Which I'm really grateful for. And during my time in my final year, whilst doing my master's, I actually had a great opportunity to intern with the Deputy Athletic Director of UM Athletics, Rochelle Paul. And she was an amazing mentor, had her own diverse array of experiences. She actually participated in 2 different sports throughout her college career, so she understood it all.
Oh, really?
And through that, she kind of opened doors for me to explore different avenues of the athletic department. Again, as an athlete, you don't really understand the magnitude of what goes on in an athletic department, from how many different kind of people there are employed there to different units. I mean, you have the marketing department, you have the fundraising and philanthropy, you have people that are literally booking our travel. Rehab, all of that. And then another amazing mentor in Sherelle Jackson, who is really hands-on with our community service and kind of athletic development, which, again, when you kind of end your experience being an athlete, you look back on those aspects of it and you're like, wow, that really gave me perspective and shaped my experience and is really applicable to my world outside of sports.
Yeah.
So, long-winded answer, that's how I ended up in the States, and I was fortunate to get a job. My first job out of college was on the partnership side of things with Athletics, and we kind of worked on getting those corporate partnerships that you see on Game Day, Bacardi, Kia,
right?
All of those partnerships that have. And that was really eye-opening for me to understand how that world of sports works. Huge, as you know, in this day and age, to have partners and sponsors to not only lift up your brand, but also get financial support. And I'm really grateful for that experience. And then I had a great speaking opportunity at where I got introduced to the Junior Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
And since then, it is outstanding how many people are affiliated with the organization.
I know. And I can see them growing exponentially with you at the helm. So I'm so excited for you. And what a great background you have. Wow. So, yeah, but now, oh my goodness, it's season, and you didn't have all summer to prepare like most people do.
Yeah.
When I was hired years ago, they told me, oh, this summer you can take a break. And I go, are they nuts?
Yeah.
The summer is when you do all the hard work.
Yeah.
But now you're having to do it in this very short period of time. Prepare for this season. And of course, 2026 will be a piece of cake if you make it through.
I'd hope so.
No, you will make it through. It's just that everything's been done now, pretty much the sponsorships, it's that kind of stuff. So it's so now it's just getting everything lined up. So,
yeah, it is.
And infrastructure. It's
busy, but I lean on my experience with rowing. I mean, like, we had it very lucky as athletes, but for example, we had a great opportunity as the ACC expanded to go row over in California, which obviously, especially being internationals, we're great. Get to see another side of the US. This is amazing. Right. Get to see my friend at UCLA. Our coaches had to drive our equipment across the country 5 days. Like, when you understand the logistics and everything that goes into that, I think kind of like...
It's either that or fly it. And if you fly it, it's like so expensive.
I don't even know if that's a route for rowing, but...
No, probably not.
Yeah, but I think kind of that preparation and understanding all the logistics that go into that hopefully can allow me to kind of be adaptable in times where things just pop up. And as you said, I got the job in mid to late July. So then it's just been kind of learning the ropes of the organization. But again, I'm so lucky to have the people around me that I do. Like, the one thing I've noticed about this organization, it is very community centric. Like, I coincidentally went to the parade last year with one of the board members. She was like, hey, come to this event that's happening. We'll take the kids. And I was there and I was like, wow, like, this is truly the deepest sense of community I have felt since being in Miami for 6 years. Like, how often do you have an event that attracts 3 different generations of people?
Oh, yeah.
You have grandparents who participated in it when they were young. You have parents who their parents took them to the event. And then you have kids that are there being like, wow, look at all these amazing dancers and bands, and the horses are out there, and we have these amazing floats. And it was truly kind of like a patriotic sense of like, this is Miami. Like, how awesome are we celebrating this?
Right. And you know what? There's still plenty of time for people to buy additional floats, to participate.
Yep.
Put groups together, units together. And where did they go to? Because I know you have like resources for people that want to do their own floats.
Yep.
And about how much do they cost to give people a ballpark?
Okay, so a little bit of rough background on the parade for those that don't know. We go down the streets of Miracle Mile. This year it's happening on December 14th, which is a Sunday, the week after the tree lighting. And we're really proud to say that it's the biggest parade in South Florida. And we attract about 12 to 14,000 people. Mm-hmm. it's really big for the city of Coral Gables. And again, this year we're celebrating the end of the centennial. So it is a really big year to come out there and show your support and also get around your community. So we have a couple of different sponsors that participate in the float aspect.
Yeah.
So floats range anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000, but from a corporate side, it is really great exposure for your business. Again,
For sure.
that many eyeballs in an organization that's really community rooted. I think it says something about your organization.
Right.
But also it's a great way for kids and families to celebrate and come together and share in that. So again, I would say myself or Mark, who's the committee chair, is the main touch point of the event. So you can reach out or inquire on our socials or through our website or email, give me a call. And again, we're just looking to celebrate all of the things that Miami has to offer. Again, it's UM's end of their centennial. We have a huge international organization that's just moved their headquarters, being FIFA. Next year, the World.
Right, I know.
Next year's the World Cup. So
FIFA
again,
should have a float.
we would love to get FIFA involved. We would love to
FIFA,
celebrate.
if you're listening,
We would love to celebrate into
cough
Miami.
up the bucks for a float.
No,
Right.
but again, it's a great way to embed yourself in the community.
Of course.
Again, like such an international organization, but we are really proud to host the World Cup here next year. And I think that's a great way to integrate yourself into the community and kind of celebrate what we're about in a time of a lot of international whatnot that's happening in the world. It's a great time to come together, and that's why I love Miami, is because constantly you can walk into a room and someone's speaking Spanish, someone's like from Australia.
And there's 1 degree of separation.
Yeah, exactly.
There is nobody you meet that you're not going to find a connection with.
Totally.
Somehow. Yeah.
So again, I think we really honor and take a lot of pride in our international presence. And just to speak a little bit more about the organization, for those that don't know, so we're a nonprofit based in Florida, obviously in Coral Gables, and this is our 77th year, which again, there's a great rich history and legacy, and we kind of evolved from the Orange Bowl by having this great grand parade. And again, it was a time of celebration. There's so much history to celebrate in Coral Gables. And from that, we kind of branched out into different youth activities. So as you would know, our most prominent events are now our golf and our tennis tournament, which the tennis, we can proudly say, is the biggest and the highest level of competition in the world for its age groups, under 12s, under 14s. And we have had amazing alumni. I mean, Coco Gauff, you've seen what she's done in the last year.
Sure.
She won our tournament a couple of years ago.
I know.
Roger
I remember.
Federer, like
Yeah,
all of
I
these
remember.
amazing
Yeah.
people. And I think to have that right in our backyard of Coral Gables is
It's amazing.
so exciting. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't one professional sport that we don't have that isn't like native to America. Like, of course, we don't have cricket or things that I'm familiar with, but
Yeah, but I'm thinking, with FIFA coming, all of a sudden, I can see Junior Orange Bowl, in years to come having big soccer tournament.
and that's something that we
You
used
know?
to have, and I think that's something that again, it's getting all
We
the
used to have a football,
and
and
again, it's just about getting us
it's
back
one of those
to
things, but it also has to do with volunteers, people willing to take them on.
Yeah.
And so if you got somebody passionate, and you'll find that if somebody really passionate about a sport, you say, listen, we'd love to do it. Figure out a way to do it, and we'll see if we can fund it.
Totally. And we're really proud to have a great base of volunteers. And again, when I got the role, I was speaking to a couple people at UM, and it's so funny to hear everyone's 1 degree of separation away from our organization, or they've somehow had someone who's participated, and there's a lot of pride in this. And I think that's where we're at in an organization. We're trying to like reignite and reunite people that were initially connected to our organization, grow it and celebrate it, and do things at a time. Like we used to have a soccer event. I think if we have the bandwidth to do so, next year would be a great opportunity. I mean, we have the biggest soccer platform in the world right here in our backyard. As you said, like the
Absolutely.
international
Yeah.
baseball tournament is here too. So there is great opportunities. And I think now in a time of sport where everything's kind of financially driven, it is really important to support our youth. Again, I was really lucky with my experience through rowing and in a sport that, again, doesn't have a lot of funding internationally, that I had that experience to have an education at the same time. And I think it's really important for us to provide that opportunity not only to local Floridians, but to also international athletes that are aspiring to come here to college, showcase and display to them what we have on offer, and also create that dialogue. I think it's so important to be kind of engaging with people on the other side of the world who are doing something that you share a passion over, but you may not have exposure to. Like, that is so important, because you never know who you're going to be in a group project with, or who you're working with, or who you are on a sporting team with on the weekends. Like, I think that diversity piece is so awesome, and the fact that we have the opportunity to do it at such a high level is benefiting for both sides. I mean,
well, for the kids too. It's
Totally.
an opportunity to get scholarships, because there are coaches that come out.
Yeah.
I know.
We have a huge...
Coaches are all over the place for tennis, for golf,
Yeah.
and other sports. They find out.
Totally. A huge recruiting presence, and who wouldn't want to be in South Florida between December and January?
Exactly.
I mean, it's the perfect time to be here. We're so lucky to have the Biltmore Crown in Salvador for our golf and tennis tournaments.
I think most people don't know that we don't charge for you to come watch.
No, again.
And so it's a great opportunity for people out there that, have never thought about it. Hey, you've got the best amateurs in the world playing in these tournaments.
Yep.
You can come out and watch them.
Totally. And I think it is also really inspiring for other kids their age. Again, like,
Yeah.
the expectation for someone doing sport is not always be the top of the top in your age group and be a young pro so early. I think it's just like the fundamentals of what you learn from sports. And that's what was really important for me, and I think will be the same for as long as I'm involved in sport, or when I have a family, like instilling those values in people. Again, it's teamwork, it's cooperation, it's working together, it's respect, understanding that you have your own philosophies and values because of your background. And again, we need to have that international exposure to gain that understanding. And I think it is so important at an age where kids are so impressionable and they can really carry these values throughout life. Again, we celebrate those people, those few percent of people that go on to be the Coco Gauffs, the Roger Federers, the Tiger Woods of the world. But that isn't reality. And I think at the end of the day, we shouldn't be deterred from participation and what you get out of putting yourself through something where my alarm's up at 6 a.m., I'm up every morning, I have a routine, I have discipline, I have work ethic, because at the end of the day, that's what you have throughout life, and that is applicable in anything that you do.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's what we're really proud to represent as an organization, is that we celebrate our local community. Again, our basketball tournament's fabulous with all of our local Florida teams. In 2 days' time, we have 2,500 kids coming for our cross-country tournament down at Miami Zoo.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, which is so exciting.
Wow, that's grown amazing.
It's like, it's a really exciting
I had
thing to
no
be a part
idea.
of. And again, like, we couldn't do it without our amazing volunteers and people that want to participate. But again, it's little effort on our end to create hopefully a memorable experience for these kids. We don't want sport to be something that you're deterred from doing because of having maybe a certain experience or a certain feeling towards it. Again, like, not everyone is going to be in the 1%, but that shouldn't be the expectation.
Right.
The expectation should be that you come there, you try your best, you put time into something that you then reap the benefits out of, or you make new friends, you have a new experience, you're outside kind of exploring things outside of the classroom for a day, and they are so important in today's day and age. And I think that, again, we have a huge legacy with this organization and really passionate and devoted members like yourself. And I think it's important to honor that sense of community that we have, but also understand where we're heading, and having those people that share those same values, and the pride that we can take in how much we've developed and grown our tennis event. We have amazing sponsors. We have Wilson. We have all of these great people that are like, how can we get involved? And I think that's the gold standard for what we're doing. But also with us keeping in mind of how can we also help the community in other aspects. Like, we're really proud of what we do with our sports abilities games. We come out and we have a whole day of fun games and activities.
That's one of those things that I swear anybody I would get to volunteer, they were hooked from the get-go. Yeah. It's like every year they came back because it was so rewarding. And so now you've only got 1 day. It used to be 3 days, but I'm sure you're going to end up.
Yeah, and again, it's just back to, that. I think we're really cognizant of doing things well rather than try to touch every point and kind of half do it. I think it's really important that we keep that standard and they have that experience. And again, like, that would be my vision. Can we kind of create an aspect of our prominent events that we offer to kids with cognitive or physical disabilities? Like, can we extend off what we already do? I'd love to get wheelchair basketball going. I would love to offer different kind of tennis and golf lessons to those that maybe do not have access to or don't have the physical capabilities of doing so. That is our vision. And I think we're proud of what we're doing right now. We have 1,000 kids come out. We have a day of games and activities, and the Miami-Dade Physical Education Department is really hands-on in that, and we're grateful for their support.
And you need tons of volunteer for that.
Totally. And again, we had times where that was at Tropical Park. Like, do we expand on doing so? And again, one day to us or one day to a volunteer is very little in terms of this child looking forward to this day, 365 days out.
Exactly.
Having the best day with their friends, creating memories. And I think just leaving feeling empowered and having that great experience. And I think that's what sports is at the end of the day, whether you have hindsight or you don't. Like, I may leave something being really disappointed. I was frustrated that I didn't perform to my max. It just wasn't my day. But then hindsight 10 years later, I'm so glad I had that experience, because I'm going to go to work 5, 6, 7 days a week, and I'm not going to feel good 100% of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And I learned that from sport.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that everyone kind of who encourages their children to do, or who off their own bat still participates in, should be really proud of.
Mimi, you are such a coach.
No.
Which is a good thing when you're running a nonprofit and you're dealing with volunteers, because you really do have to, you're coach. They used to laugh and say they worked for me, and kind of if you're the coach, your team is working for you because they want you to be proud of them. Yeah. Right. So
I feel like I'm a team player, and I definitely am
absolutely
in a huge learning process. I'm grateful of our board. Everyone's been really supportive, and again, they all have full-time jobs, but they still give me their time of day, their insight, their knowledge, and we wouldn't be able to do what we do without their support. And again, like, I am passionate to attract new members. I want young members. I want people that were involved 20 years ago and now want to come back to the organization. I think that's something that we can proudly say is we're an all-encompassing organization, that it doesn't discriminate against how old you are, where you're from. I'm from Australia.
Obviously not.
I didn't know about the organization 5 years ago. So I think that's something that we're proud of. And I think, to your point earlier, like, there are a lot of things that in the past, like any organization, people really felt a positive association with, that we're trying to get back to that level, whilst also raising the standards. Like, again, look at where tennis is. Like, it is an internationally sought after competition that constantly, we have hundreds of people emailing us being like, how can I get my child involved?
I know.
And golf's at the same point. Yeah. So how can we grow that whilst also celebrating the local community and what we have to offer here, and then giving back to those people that don't have access to it? And that's the point. I think that's the point of nonprofits. Again, we're expanding on and capitalizing on what we do really well, but at the same time, like, it cycles back in, and we kind of diversify what we're doing.
So maybe have a clinic.
Yeah, totally.
Connected to the golf tournament kind of thing.
And that's a really important part of it for us too, is like the educational experience, like our youth ambassadors program, which has evolved over the years from the pageant.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah. And Mish is great. She kind of heads that up. And I think that's really important for leadership tools. And I think what's really exciting about that, it is a program. So one day they might be taking kids in underprivileged.
It's a leadership program.
Yeah,
it's
underserved.
Like amazing. I couldn't believe she developed that. And I go, that's so cool.
It's awesome. And they do so many different diverse things. And I think that's, again, important for a child in any development to understand that. But also subconsciously, they don't realize all these things that they're learning and doing at the same time, whilst also kind of hopefully going into communities and inspiring people and making them feel heard and safe and loved and respected, and all these things that we want to pass on into the community. Yeah. And to your point about kind of having that educational piece, that is really important for us moving forward. So whilst we do facilitate tournaments and competitions, how do we have the educational piece?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about, because we haven't even talked about creative writing.
Yep.
We haven't talked about photography.
Yep.
So let's talk about all those cultural experiences, cultural arts type of experiences that we offer. And creative writing, some of the stuff that comes out of there is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And have you had a chance to read or see any of that yet?
I have spoken to the chairs about their experience in the past, but I would be lying if I said I've actually read.
Wait until you go to the ceremony and you hear them read their stuff. You go, what?
I think it'll make me rethink my knowledge.
I've had people make me cry.
Yeah.
With their compositions. So I don't know. They have what's the topic this year? Do you remember?
So we're in the process of selecting a topic, and what I love when I met with the committee 2 weeks ago is they're really intentional about doing things that are not only applicable to the school curriculum, but something that we can also educate people on the side with. And I think that's a big piece because, again, we have participants from all over Miami-Dade, Broward, whatnot. It doesn't matter if you go to a public, private school, you're getting the same materials handed to you. But again, it's that educational piece where you want to expose everyone to the same kind of maybe issue that we're trying to problem solve or current world topic or something that just makes people use those critical thinking skills. And in this day and age when we have all of these amazing resources, AI, all of these things, how are we challenging you to think differently and really apply all of those all-encompassed skills that you're learning and translate that through writing?
And now that I think about AI and creative writing, I'm wondering how are they the people that reading the compositions, are they able to identify AI? Because there are programs to do that.
Exactly.
Because my daughter's a teacher.
Yeah.
She teaches.
So we have pretty high level adjudicators or judges when it gets to certain rounds in the competition, which I think you can pick up on some similar language, which
Well, last time I heard them read their composition, there was no AI.
Yeah,
So.
no, exactly. And again, there are resources that you can use, but again, that's not what we're trying to encourage. We're not trying to do something where you have to look externally to think about something. We're asking you to use your critical thinking skills and how you view the world. And I think that's important when people read and share. Again, the same point of understanding a kid that's from Europe and plays tennis and you're from here, local South Florida, and you're meeting at the competition and kind of exchanging your dialogue. It's important for me to understand and see the world through your lens, through your writing and your journaling. And I think that's what we're really proud of doing. And again, down the line, how can we create workshops that we intertwine into our programs? How can we bring in guest speakers and authors to try to educate people? And again, we want to be able to offer these resources to anyone. It doesn't matter where you go to school or what resources you currently have.
Well,
we want to be able to...
It's great exposure for the Junior Orange Bowl. And the more exposure, the more apt you are to collect more sponsorships.
Yeah, totally. And again, for me, a big thing is giving these kids a great experience and hopefully giving them something to take away from the experience. And again, touching on our photography competition, we have one of the biggest art displays in the world, being Art Basel. How can we tie that in?
Exactly.
Right here in Florida. How can we encourage these people to come out? They want to get into sports photography. Come out to our tournaments. We'll give you an opportunity. We have a photographer. We'll teach you some skills. Or at the same time, how do we intertwine that into relevant career options? I mean, in this day and age, sports wouldn't exist without, to the level it is, without social media and with all of that publicity. The teams and the staff required for these videographies and social media production is huge. It's as big as the coaching staff, if not bigger. Yeah. So it is a really important, prominent piece throughout any field this day and age. So again, how can we utilize our platform or our resources that we have here to not just be hey, we're not just hosting one competition throughout the year. This is a viable career path if you have the right resources and you want to pursue this long term. So I'm really excited about the diversity that we have in what we do. But I think a big piece for me, and I guess the direction that the organization's moving in, is we want to create educational pathways and tutorials and, as you said, kind of workshops, not just a competition, because it's more than that. It's about offering the time and resources, and we have so many really impressive people.
Just participating in the Junior Orange Bowl is a learning experience.
Totally.
Like you said. But then all the ancillary things that go along with that.
Yeah.
Meeting new friends. There are, even the sports ability games, that always touched me, that there were kids that would come back year after year and they would see friends that they'd made the year before. Yeah, and that's kind of sweet. And the same with all the sporting events and everything we do. You're in for quite a ride.
No, I'm excited. I think, again, there's so much that we've done really well in the past, and I think there are so many areas of growth and opportunities. And I think, again, to any businesses, whether you're local, you're nationwide, you're international, it is really an exciting time to get involved in sports. And again, how often do you have access to kids that really are at the start of their career, but they're at the top of what they're doing in the world right here in South Florida?
Exactly.
I mean, the access to those people, whether it's like you want someone to come to our tournament and they're deciding where to go to college in a couple years' time and they had a really great experience here, or they have a really great affiliation with a certain brand, and that's what they remember. That's what sticks with them.
It helps draw people to Miami who are much needed in different job opportunities that we have here too. So you're not going to believe it, but you're going to start doing your own show. So we are out of time.
Yeah.
You will have plenty more time
to talk about it.
To talk about your mission and whatever. And I know you're going to bring some people on that are like sharing different events and that kind of thing. So we're really excited to have you join the list of hosts that we have here.
I'm honored.
And I appreciate your coming in today.
No, thank you for having me. It's amazing what you guys do here, and I think you guys are a real heart of the community, and we're kind of excited to work together and evolve and see where we can grow this too. But I think that at the end of the day, that's the binding factor between our organizations is we are
I feel very
community-centric.
blessed to be involved in the Junior Orange Bowl, and God bless the community newspapers for allowing us to feature people like you and just make us a really great community.
Well, that's kind of you. We're great to have you as a resource.
Thanks. So thank you, South Florida PBS, for sponsoring the show once again. I know we went over. Anzoni, thank you for helping us today. Our producer, he's wonderful. And until next time, make a difference in our community and support the Junior Orange Bowl.
Thank you.
Welcome.